Welcome to In Her Voice. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am passionate about helping women live authentically by listening to their inner voice. Get ready to be inspired by women of all walks of life that have set aside their should-bes and not good enoughs and are standing in their true voice, the voice of wisdom that each and every one of us has inside. Hey, you guys, it's Kelly here, and you are listening to In Her Voice, and I am so glad, so glad that you decided to press play today. Thank you for inviting me into your ears. I really appreciate it. And I have something really special for you today. In my neck of the woods in upstate New York, it has been a very rough spring that really feels like winter. And finally, we've turned the corner. And I was walking in my yard the other day, and I have on the side of my yard that does not get very much sun, a really big bed of ferns. And I was noticing all the baby ferns were unfurling. And I know what it looks like at the peak of summer. I mean, it is packed full. And many of those ferns I dug holes and planted myself many years ago when we moved into this house. And since then, they have just reproduced and created more and more beauty every single year. And it really got me to thinking about how interesting the life of a fern is. I mean, if you could see that patch of ground in the winter, you would never know what it looked like in the summertime. If you hadn't seen it, you would never even know what was there. I mean, if it's not covered with snow, it's just this brown space of dirt, really. And there's like these sort of like dead woody trunks all over it. It just looks like it needs to be raked out and cleaned up and planted with flowers. But then it starts to get warm. And the ferns start to peak up, and every year there's more and more. And you know what surprises me every year? First of all, how magically they just come up and they start to unfurl and stretch out into the warm air. But also that no matter how long the fern has been there, it always starts tiny and then grows. Even the baby ones, they start tiny and they may not grow as big as the ones that have been there for a long time, but they all start in the same place and they all start over again every single spring. They unfurl, they transform, and it's almost like I feel like they're born again every single year. And honestly, through nothing that I do, I watch them. I don't do anything to them anymore. And it made me think about how we live our lives in these cycles of going inward and hibernating and storing up energy and then unfurling again and again and again. And I think sometimes, and I know that I'm guilty of this, and I have met other women who fall into this way of thinking that when they're in a period of hibernation, of darkness even, of a cold time in their life where they feel like almost like they're dead inside, it's hard to remember that there will come a time where you unfurl again. And where you will reach up and you will feel the warmth of that sun on you. And you will be born again into a new transformation, into another version of you. And that there will be even more of you this time. And that we need that time. We cannot be in bloom all year long. And that's okay. And I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves to be in bloom, so much pressure to be perfect and to have it all together and, to look great and to be doing great things 100% of the time. Guess what, you guys? We cannot do that. That's not what we were made. That's not how we were made to be. We were made to exist in the cycles of growing up and outward, and then of curling back in and storing up energy, and then unfurling again into the warmth. And I just want to remind you that if you right now are in a period where you feel like, ugh, is this really it? When you feel like you're retreating, honor that, because your time to unfurl is coming. This is what marks the time, right? And don't be so hard on yourself. Be gentle. I mean, when you are in that time of hibernation, what do you most need? And here's the thing, only you know that. And if you don't know it, you need to have a really powerful talk with your inner voice. And you need to ask yourself, what do I need? Maybe you need the support of a friend. Maybe you need the support of a coach. Maybe you need guidance of which way to go to unearth yourself, to unearth the transformation that is waiting for you. And it's okay to ask, but you have to know what you need. Maybe you need accountability. Maybe you need silence. Maybe you need space. And that means going away for yourself by a weekend if you're able to do that, or going away by yourself for a day if you're able to do that. Clearing out your calendar for 3 hours and saying, this is my time. I'm going to spend it with my journal, taking care of myself, connecting with my inner voice, and asking myself what I need so that I can unfurl again. And then when we're in the moments of unfurling, when we're in the moments of like stretching our fronds outward towards the sun and saying to everyone, look at me, here I am for you to see again, I think it's also worth remembering that that does not have to be forever. And that's okay. It's about giving ourselves permission to flow with the cycles that we feel. And I think when we resist those cycles, and it's interesting because some people resist the cycle of unfurling because they feel safe in the darkness. They feel safe in the hibernation. It's scary to unfurl again and again and again, right? So some people stay in that and they resist unfurling. Other people resist going in. And I don't know what kind of person you are. I'm definitely a person who resists going inward. For me, when I feel that, I'm like, no, something's wrong. That's what I always go to, is that something's wrong. What if there was nothing wrong with that? What if that was just the natural cycle of what we need in that moment? This is just something for you to really think about. And I want to encourage you to, first of all, acknowledge that cycle. Secondly, become aware of that with yourself and start to identify which part of the cycle you resist most. And when you start to see that resistance, think about, what can I do to allow? What can I do to open myself up to this cycle that is coming? So anyway, I did something interesting today. I wrote a poem. And I'm going to share this poem with you, and then I'll come back. Unfurl. You've gone into hibernation, hiding your seed, hiding your fruit in the fertile dirt, protecting yourself from the cold, thinking it will always be this way, wondering if this is it. And then the dirt softens and becomes ripe again, and you unfurl. Still small, still tiny, still tightly wound, but so alive, transforming again into something new. Why do we forget we can unfurl over and over? Why does it always feel permanent? Does the fern forget? Is it surprised at its rebirth every spring? I don't think so. It's been waiting all along, storing up energy for the moment it stretches its fronds from the tight bud and feels the warm sun. It hasn't forgotten. It has known all along that it was born to be born again over and over. You guys, we were made to transform. We were made to honor our cycles. We were not made to be perfect. And I laugh at that because it's so easy to say. It's so easy to say, I know I'm not perfect. I know there's no such thing as perfect. It's much more difficult to put that into practice because we've been taught over and over and over again that everything has to be right all of the time, that we have to be beautiful every single day, that we have to be unfurled, living at our most glorious and being balanced and living a balanced life and being a good mom and being a good employee or a good entrepreneur and showing up. We can't do that in a perfect way. And when we begin to honor the truth that perfect is not real, then we feel the joy. Then we can connect with our passion and we can start taking action, right? We can put the passion into action and then live with purpose. And that's how we feel fulfilled. I speak to so many women and they say, I just want to feel fulfilled in my work, in my life. I just want to feel fulfilled. So how can you feel filled up, right? Fulfilled, fully filled. Let go of what you cannot be and own who you are. Honor your true worth that is in you right now. Don't wait for the day that you're going to feel good enough, because you are enough right now, right this moment. I share this with you because I believe it, because this is how I live, because I've lived a life of a perfectionist and never felt like I was enough. And you know what? It still comes up for me, and I practice. And I am excited to share this with you, to share my own practices that I use to keep my perfectionism in check, to honor my real self, not the imaginary perfect self that I will never be, and to live in joy every day, to feel fulfilled every day, to live out my life with passion and purpose. I want to give this to you. I want you to feel this. And so starting May 14th, I'm doing a 3-week course on overcoming perfectionism. I've never done this before. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be 3 group calls, 1 a week. Everybody who joins gets a one-on-one call with me. And then I'm going to be sharing journaling prompts. I'm going to be sharing practices, things that you can put into place far beyond the 3 weeks that we're going to be working together, to move into a place where you honor who you are right now. Not when or if, but right now, right now. If you're feeling your heart pull you towards this, honor it. Honor it. Go check out the link. It's in your podcast app, kellycovert.com/perfectionism. Click on it. It'll take you right to the page. It'll tell you all the details. And join me for 3 weeks of focused time, of honoring our real self, of laying aside the shield of perfectionism that we keep in front of us, that we think is protecting us from feeling not good enough, that we think is protecting us from people thinking that we're stupid or fake or whatever, and it's not. That heavy, heavy shield is not protecting us. It's holding us back. So if you're ready to lay the shield down and move forward and feel that lightness, to feel the lightness of who you are right now, this is for you. kellycovert.com/perfectionism. The live link is in your podcast app. I cannot wait to get started. Remember, right this moment, right now, you are worthy.